Real revenge stories from Reddit. A family revenge story. Christmas confessions. My fork stopped midair. Christmas dinner. My mom's glare was like a damn laser beam. "We can't do this anymore," she snapped. 10 years in the military, 3 tours. A broken back, and all she saw was debt. But what they didn't know, I recorded everything. And the revenge? It was already in motion. If you've ever sacrificed for people who turned their backs on you, if you've ever been betrayed by the ones you trusted most, this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and prepare yourself for a tale of betrayal, justice, and sweet, sweet revenge. It was supposed to be a peaceful Christmas. The first one I'd spent with my family in over a decade. I'd envisioned something warm, maybe not a Hallmark movie, but at least civil. Instead, what I got was a war zone of a different kind. My name is Alex Ramsey. I'm 27. I've served 3 tours, 2 in Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq. I came back broken. My back's a mess, my nerves are shot. The VA sends checks, but I walk with a limp. And when I'm at home, if I can even call it that, I sleep on a pull-out couch in the same room where I had my G.I. Joe posters as a kid. That night, the family was gathered. Lights twinkled, the tree stood tall, turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, all the usual holiday suspects. Then silence. My fork froze halfway to my mouth. No one looked up. "Brenda, don't," my Uncle Kevin warned gently, setting down his wine, but Mom raised her hand. Her glare locked on me, lips red and smudged from wine. Her festive sweater was pristine, cheerful, cruelly ironic. "He needs to hear this." The words cut through the air like a blade. "I gave you 10 years, she spat, 10 years to become something. And what do you bring home? PTSD and medical bills." I tried to speak, but she barreled forward. "We can't do this anymore." Dad sat across the table in silence. He hadn't said much since I got home, his gaze glued to his plate. I guess even he didn't want to be caught in Mom's crosshairs. I didn't ask to get hit by a roadside bomb, I managed. My voice came out low, controlled. She hated that. "Don't play the martyr," she snapped. "You enlisted to help this family. That was it. Every check, every goddamn deployment, I sent money home. You cried over the phone about the mortgage. I did what I could. Well, we're still behind. And you being here only makes it worse." She stood and started gathering the plates. "You're a grown man, Alex. Time to stop sucking us dry." No one moved. My younger brother, Dylan, stared down at his glass. Aunt Nora bit her lip. "The cranberry sauce on my plate might as well have been blood." I stood. "Is that how it is?" I asked, barely above a whisper. She didn't look at me. "You want the truth? Get out of this house." And in that moment, something in me just shut off. Let me tell you who I am. I'm Alex Ramsey. I served my country while this family sat comfortably in the house I helped pay for. I was 19 when I deployed, 27 when I came home shattered. I didn't come back expecting a parade, but I didn't expect to be treated like a damn burden either. Brenda. My mother, 52, a retired nurse who took over the family finances when my dad lost his job. Sharp-tongued, ruthless, she never once said, "Thank you for the money I sent," not once. But she believes in a tough love. That's what she calls it. Dylan, my brother, 22, dropped out of college, now calls himself a crypto entrepreneur. Always needed a bailout, always got one. Guess who bailed him out? I had a hunch. Kevin, Mom's older brother, drinks too much, never liked me. But even he looked queasy that night, and Dad, Rick, 58, once strong, now just there. A quiet ghost in his own home. After dinner, I found Dylan in the hallway. "Where's the 20 grand? I asked. He looked startled. "What are you talking about?" "The loan Mom co-signed. I saw the credit report. It's under my name." His eyes flicked left, then right. "She said it was for your truck, for your PT appointments." I don't own a truck, Dylan. Look, man, I needed it. The market was crashing. You buried me in debt. I missed VA appointments because of this. Back in the kitchen, I dropped the credit report on the table like a grenade. Everyone froze. You forged my signature, Mom. You and Dylan. That's a felony. The silence was deafening. For a split second, I saw something flash in her eyes. Shame? Fear? No, just anger. We were drowning, she said flatly. You weren't even here. I did what I had to do. With my identity, my credit? I owe this family. Alex. We kept this house afloat while you played soldier. Played? That word shattered me. I watched men burn in convoys. I killed people. I bled for this country. And for what? So you could pretend I was a blank check? My voice cracked. I could feel the room shrinking, the walls closing in. Then I remembered something. A moment from years ago. A call from Helmand Province. Mortars exploding in the background. Mom. I had shouted over the noise. I got the bonus. I'll wire it Friday. And all she said was, good. The bank's on our ass. Not, are you okay? Not, I'm proud of you, not even, I love you. Just, good. That was the day I realized I wasn't a son. I was an account number. I reached into my coat pocket and pulled out a flash drive. I recorded this conversation, I said calmly, and I already uploaded it to my lawyer. Mom's face twisted. You wouldn't. It includes your admission, the forged signature, the manipulation. You think the VA won't notice? Or the state? Kevin stood up, hands trembling. Dylan sank into a chair. Dad looked away. One more thing, I said. Grandma knows. She called after the first debt collector reached her. And that was it. Mom finally broke. What do you want from me? Peace, I said, and a life without all of you pretending I'm the problem. Dylan shouted something. Kevin stormed out. Mom screamed after me, but I was already upstairs throwing everything into a duffel bag. As I stepped out the door, she followed me onto the porch. If you leave, don't come back. I turned once, just once. I didn't come back, I took the night bus. No plan, no destination, just an old duffel bag filled with worn clothes, crumpled discharge papers, and the sting of betrayal still echoing in my chest. The city lights blurred into a haze through the fogged-up window as I sat in silence. Head resting against cold glass, the pain in my back pulsed with every bump in the road, but I welcomed the discomfort. At least it was real, unlike the love my family pretended to give. I hadn't seen my grandmother in 6 years, not because I didn't want to, but because she had been quietly pushed out, isolated by the very people who just kicked me to the curb. But somehow, in the chaos of everything, she'd remained a steady lighthouse in the distance. When I finally stepped off the bus and limped down the long gravel driveway to her farmhouse, I half expected her not to answer. But there she was, hair wild and silver, robe wrapped tight against the wind, eyes soft but tired. She didn't need to ask what happened. She looked at my face, the exhaustion, the duffel, the damage, and she just said 5 words that shattered whatever defenses I had left. I knew they'd do this. I broke right there on the porch. No pride, no soldier act, just a broken man collapsing into the arms of the only person who saw me, not my rank, not my paycheck, just me. She pulled me inside. And didn't let go for a long time. That night, I slept in a real bed for the first time in months. The room smelled like old quilts, pine cleaner, and cinnamon, safe. No expectations, no shame, no glares across the dinner table, just peace. I didn't dream that night, no explosions, no yelling, just silence. And not the tense kind I had back home. This silence wrapped around me like armor. In the mornings, I'd sit on the porch swing with a mug of black coffee, watching the soybean fields dance with the wind. The stillness was unnerving at first. Veterans aren't taught to be still. We're taught to move, fix, respond, obey. But here, there were no orders, no guilt trips, no eyes watching to see if I'd fall apart. Eventually, the quiet became something else, space. I started journaling. At first, just loose thoughts, but soon the words poured out: rage, grief, shame, everything I'd swallowed during deployment, things I'd buried so deep I thought they'd never resurface. I wrote about the burn pits, the friends I lost, the survivor's guilt. One entry just read, "They called me a burden, but I carried that family for 10 years. I didn't cry when I wrote it. I just breathed, and for once, breathing was enough. A few weeks into my stay at Grandma's, something shifted. It started with an envelope, old, yellowed, fraying at the edges. Grandma handed it to me with a quiet look. "It's time you saw this," she said. Inside were letters, dozens of them, letters I had sent her from every deployment, each one carefully folded, sand-stained, and sealed with grit and hope. Inside every letter was a money order, every cent I could spare. Grandma hadn't touched a dime. She'd kept records. She showed me bank receipts, transaction logs, even voicemails from Mom crying about bills she later claimed never existed. That was my proof. I packaged everything, letters, receipts, voicemail recordings, and handed them over to my lawyer. The flash drive with Mom's confession was the centerpiece. Within weeks, the fraud investigation began. My credit started to recover. The VA reinstated my appointments. Dylan's name came up fast. I didn't want him behind bars. I didn't want revenge in the form of handcuffs. I just wanted my name back, my dignity, my future. Then, one morning, the phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but I answered. It was my dad. His voice was brittle, shaken. "I failed you," he said. I kept quiet because I didn't want to lose her, but I lost you instead. I didn't speak. Not at first, because in that moment, I realized how much damage silence can do, how much harm comes from standing by. "You let her ruin what was left of me, Dad." He wept on the line. He apologized. It didn't fix everything, but maybe that's where healing begins, when someone finally owns the silence. A week later, a message appeared in my inbox. It was from Dylan. "I messed up. I was scared. I was stupid. I'm sorry." I stared at it for a long time, then closed the tab. Some ghosts are better left unread. Me? I kept going, slowly, steadily. I enrolled in online night classes using my GI Bill, cybersecurity. The irony wasn't lost on me. After years of protecting people, I was learning to protect systems, defend networks, not borders. I picked up part-time work at a tractor repair shop nearby. The owner didn't care about my limp, didn't ask about my past. He looked me in the eye, shook my hand, and said, "Show up. Be honest. That's all I ask." And for the first time, it felt like enough. That I still get nightmares, still wake up expecting the sounds of gunfire or shouted orders, but I have a plan now, a path, a quiet life where I'm allowed to be human, not heroic, not perfect, just me. Point 1. Morning, as the sun rose over the soybean fields, Grandma came out with a mug of hot coffee. She sat beside me, brushed a hand over my shoulder, and said, "You know, baby, you didn't walk away from your family. You walked toward yourself." And for the first time in years, I smiled because I believed her. Some people will never apologize the way you needed. Some debts won't ever be repaid, and some wounds don't close, they just stop bleeding. But healing doesn't wait for permission, it waits for a choice. And every day, I choose me. If you've ever felt like the black sheep of your own family, like you gave everything and got nothing back, take a breath. You're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not a burden. You're someone who survived. Drop a comment. Have you ever had to walk away from family just to find peace? Like this video if you've ever been betrayed and bounced back stronger. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories of healing, justice, and finding your power again. Point 16.2s